It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Movie Toast.
Hello, Toasties. How's it going, Adam?
Oh, man, I am so excited to be here. I have so much news I want to talk about with you. I want to talk about some great movies. Oh, man, I'm just jazzed. How you doing?
Nice. Good. I'm excited. I know I got a couple of reviews of things that you've seen as well, so I'm excited to get into it with you, and let's get to those reviews. But I know we got some business to attend to before we get there.
We got to pay the bills.
That's right.
Normally, when people say that on their podcast, it means it's time to do an ad, but we don't have a good enough podcast for that. But we do have some movie news.
Should do a fake ad at some point. That'd be fun, just to make up our own product.
I would love to do that.
Let's get to those news. You're right.
Yeah.
Gather round, folks, it's time for the scoop. Tune your ears in, let's join the loop.
Join the loop.
All right. Up first, we have a little bit of a TV news for you. True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto has an idea, a new story, so to say, that involves the original cast. I'm talking about Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson's character, Russ and Marty. And it looks like everyone's interested in coming back to do this story.
I mean, that was some pretty fantastic television. There were good stories told after, but nothing near as good as that first season. Mm-hmm. So bring it on. That was the best cast.
I always wonder why they never came back and did more, but hey, time apart helps, I think.
Right. The little cameo was kind of fun, but it wasn't it wasn't as deep as when we really had him back. Yeah, exactly. So nice. Yeah, I'm here for that for sure.
I mean, HBO hasn't greenlit it yet, but it seems like it's going to happen. If they want to do it, I'm sure they'll do it.
They need something to go between seasons of White Lotus. Come on.
Yeah, come on, folks. Well, speaking of shows taking breaks, Netflix has finally announced the release date for the final season of Stranger Things. So it's being split up into 3 parts. The first parts will drop on Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving this year. Second part launches on Christmas. Third part, New Year's Eve. So apparently Netflix thinks that we have nothing to do for the holidays, folks.
I mean, they're not too off base. If anything, that's something a lot of people can do is like gather around the TV after the festivities have like dwindled down somewhat. But so, and I know for me personally, I was initially like reading the headline. I was a little upset, like, oh, come on, like split up in 3 segments, but they're so close together. I really like that actually. Space it out. Let me digest it. Get people a chance to talk about it. Really drive up the hype again. I think that's a decent model. Weekly is annoying for some folks. Dumping it all at once is also annoying for others. Doing those segments at a time. I think that's an even balance. We'll have to see, obviously, but this sounds like the best way to kind of meet the middle ground here.
I can't wait. I mean, I loved all the other seasons, and why not?
Great
like
show.
You said, holiday season, everything winds down. Families can get together and watch it together. Why not?
For sure.
But staying in the realm of streaming shows, it seems like HBO has finally found their cast for Harry Potter, their main stars. We got newcomers Dominic McLaughlin, Alistair Stout, and Arbella Stanton playing Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger.
Harry has really long hair, though. I'm kind of surprised they went that direction. No, it's
can't see a star.
Yeah, exactly. I think the promo shot that they're featuring of the main 3 cast, it's a cute picture of them that I think they embody exactly the look of what you imagine from reading the books. For me personally, that is really damn on point right there.
Right. And it's like, you just got to make sure you don't fuck up like Stranger Things and keep the episodes flowing so they're not 18 by the time they're in the fucking 12th grade.
Yeah. Well, I'm only a second year. And he's like,
did I say 18?
Shaving
so they're
his
not
mustache.
37 and
Yeah.
Pictures from so they're not the actual age they should be when they graduate.
It's like
But no, just looking at the
grandchildren
Things
by the
kids-
time they get to the last season. It's like, I finally graduated.
I can play Gandalf now. Well, wrong show. I mean, I could be Dumbledore.
I'm a wizard now. God.
Yeah, you've been a wizard for a while, Harry. You've been a wizard for a while.
Sorry,
all my friends are dying of AIDS and
I'm
cancer.
Harry. Oh, that's right.
Oh shit. I don't know.
Avoid that, HBO. Avoid that.
Yeah. I don't know. I do apologize. I said they were dying of AIDS and cancer. I don't know what I was talking about. My apologies. The Death Eaters are eating their souls. I don't know what happens.
Death Eater, yes.
Dementors are coming. I'm gonna try to move out of this with the new story.
We're going on to the next. What's the next story there?
Acclaimed comic book artist Mark Miller has some claims of some friends joining Spidey in Spider-Man: Brand New Day. There's rumors that Bruce Banner's Smart Hulk and Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, will be joining the Webslinger in his next outing. I don't know. I can see one of these characters, but the other, are they willing to go that dark? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, interesting. Because I immediately was just like, oh, another New York-based character. Yeah, Punisher makes sense.
Makes sense.
The Hulk was a bit more of a stretch for me, but I see the scientist side of it, of course. Yeah,
I think that's over.
Yeah, I mean, why not at this point? It's if we're going to include him in the Avengers on and off, then the other Marvel characters need to be able to bounce in and out, once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we're going to try to make it that close to the comics, then start bringing everybody around. Why not?
Hell yeah. And everyone loves Frank Castle. He's a badass.
Fuck yeah.
And we don't know where the story's going, but I feel like I don't think Mark Miller would make this up, but it's also like, why? Well, I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. Yeah.
And speaking of more movies to look forward to, it looks like Star Wars Starfighter has found their villain in an actress who has held her own in the horror genre as a villain. Mia Goth, who most people probably know as Maxine or Pearl from the X trilogy, is stepping in to be the big baddie opposite Ryan Gosling.
It's making me more and more curious as to what direction the story is going to take for the rest of this. And yeah, it's cool. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm excited that things are branching out more now with the conclusion of Andor, and it's I feel like this is the next thing that we're kind of like getting our palate sort of teased with before we actually get more of any other Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. Whenever they decided to release, they'll claim this is when it's released, but let's be honest, it's all on a sliding scale, which it should be.
Sure.
Yeah, awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I want
definitely
some dogfighting. I want to see some. It's Star Wars. We don't spend that much time in space.
There's not a lot of wars happening in most of these movies.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We see some stars every now and again.
Starfighter, let's do it.
Speaking of stars, Dennis, it looks like a pop star might be joining Mamma Mia 3. That's right. It looks like Sabrina Carpenter is in talks to join the large cast of people who love this musical.
Why not?
I don't know. I've never seen the other two Mamma Mias or the musical.
Oh, okay.
The stage musical.
I've only seen the first one. I've seen the first. I saw that in theaters, and I'm a fan of ABBA. I like their music.
It's like a jukebox musical, right?
Yes. I know. I'm curious because I never saw the second one, and I'm like, you've already covered all the hits in the first one. What are you missing? The deep cuts? Like, what are we doing with the third one?
Are they going to go to the B-side?
Are we going to go back to these songs we want to hear anyways? Or are we just going to skip ABBA altogether? It's going to be a Mamma Mia, but it's all like
original music.
I don't know. Yeah, like it's.
I would watch
take a wild left turn.
Maybe it's going to be Papa Mia.
Papa Mia. Here I go again. Anyways, I got to stop right there because I know too many.
Fair enough. Well, staying in the round of pop stars being in movies, it's now confirmed that Ariana Grande will be in Meet the Parents 4.
It's so funny. I heard that too. I just okay. Like it's.
Now, I think the bigger news here is the fact that in this fourth movie, Ben Stiller is now the same age as Robert De Niro was in the first movie.
First one. Oh.
And it's like, how old did Robert look? And how young does fucking Ben Stiller look? Yeah, he's got gray
Wow.
hair, but come on.
That's a good point. I feel like previous generations age way harder. Like as
Yeah.
time goes on, we don't age quite as gnarly. Like you see those photos, like people posting online, oh, here's the yearbook photo of my grandpa. And then it's just like, they're 18 years old. They look fucking 50 and had
Yeah.
lived 2 lives already. Not the case
Hmm.
anymore, obviously. So that's funny.
But
And then like, it's totally legit that Ariana Grande could be an adult child of one of
well, that's the thing. Yeah, they
them.
had
Like,
kids in Meet the Fokker. I mean, Little Fockers. I
yeah.
forget who it was, but I think recently the original cast did a anniversary screening at Tribeca recently, and it
Mm,
sounds like in the first place it was Ben Stiller, of course, trying to meet the parents and trying to be like presentable and do everything right, and of course it was a disaster for him. But it sounds like maybe this may lean towards the new person joining the family might not care as much about that. I don't know. It seems like they might flip the script a little
interesting.
bit.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I mean, she's a
They're
great
the offensive
actress.
ones. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, she's shown she's got some chops. Like it's
yeah,
definitely there.
but mm, it should be
Interesting choice.
interesting.
I'm kind of like, did we need a fourth one at
No,
all?
no.
No.
Did we
Yeah,
need? Did we need a
exactly.
third one? Did we need a
Do
second
we need a
one?
third
No,
one? We
but
didn't need a third. Yeah,
I'm not gonna
exactly.
lie. I'm excited to see De Niro and Stiller face off again. But it's like
Their
they could do another movie
chemistry
together.
is killer. Like they
Oh
are
yeah.
so that's one of those I never would have paired them together
Hmm.
in my head, but clearly it works. It works really
Oh,
damn well. So yeah.
they got a good thing
I'll
going.
I'm with you. I'll check it out too.
Yeah. And speaking of Ben Stiller, of course, he had the movie Tropic Thunder back in the day. Well, now that Mission Impossible: The Final
Yes.
Reckoning is out, Chris McCory has gone on record saying that him and Tom Cruise have talked about doing a Les Grossman movie, something that we've heard has been gestating for years, but now might be the time.
Hey, you remember that movie from 16 years ago that I was in? Maybe it's finally time. Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris. Let's do it.
I mean, he was kind of like a Harvey Weinstein character, so I guess you could go in some interesting.
And is it funny? And it's like now that you phrased it that way, is that some of the resistance why they probably didn't come back around? Obviously, he was hitting the Mission Impossible movies and the Jack Reacher stuff like back to back pretty hard, but he's clearly good at doing like doing this. Why not come back to this? Is it not challenging? I'm curious. Does he not see this as a big enough challenge? Is this not like as engrossing for him as an actor, or is it just not enough money? Does he make I mean,
that's true.
Action films tend to do better globally than
That's
comedies,
true.
so I could see that.
But I mean, he was a breakout star. I mean, some people didn't even realize it was him, but everyone who's seen that movie was astounded by his character.
And now I feel like he's one of the favorites of the movie now. Like when looking back at it, people are like still call back to. You can't even call it a cameo because he's in so much of the movie. But
yeah,
people still quote that character.
And it's intriguing to see him and Chris McCory do it because they've done the Mission Impossibles. It's more action packed, but to see them, like you said, do a comedy, I think could be interesting. Change it up a bit for him.
I think it's the action tones but that's what made Tropic Thunder work too. It was it was trying to take itself seriously enough as an action movie that you had to they weren't gritting their teeth through the jokes. They were just saying
the joke
and
was
moving
that
on.
It was serious.
Exactly. That is why it was so goddamn good, and it's still so good. And that's the only thing that makes me nervous about this is you can't make lightning strike twice in this particular fashion.
Sorry, that was written by both Justin Theroux and Ben Stiller, so it's like I hope they have a say in what happens in it and have a hand.
It better be.
That was the magic of it. So hopefully
it's going to be a different voice if they're completely missing from it, and it will be noticeable. So maybe they can figure that out.
We've been talking about this for years, so hopefully
exactly.
Maybe it might happen.
Right.
Sounds promising. Something else that has been around for years is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It was a B-movie extravaganza. Hell, George Clooney starred in the sequel of it. And for years, there's been talk about a new one, and now a new one is finally upon us, coming out to theaters this Halloween. I don't know if you have any interest in this, but I loved this franchise in the animated series.
I watched the first one a long time ago. Isn't Gary Berghoff in it? Radar from MASH.
I think so. It's so campy and so ridiculous.
Right.
It's all the time, but I've always thought it lives rent free in my head. This franchise. I'm like, doing a movie about killer tomatoes in modern day times where everything's organic and everyone's vegetarians. That's a reason for them to want to start killing. So I'm happy to see that's finally
Right.
taking shape.
You gotta
And
do
like,
like
I want to say like 5 years ago, they announced that a sequel is happening, but then radio silence. And it's funny because like 2 weeks ago, I Googled, I'm like, what happened to that fucking reboot? Nothing. And then the other day, this article pops up. It's like, oh, wow. Okay.
awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. Not much to talk about, but I'm excited because
I
love
could
my
easily see like a modern update do like a The Happening sort of thing where you just have organic tomatoes just decide to fight back. They've evolved
right?
to resist.
Yeah.
The humans are done.
All right, up next, speaking of nostalgia, it looks like we might get a new Care Bear movie, but this time it's coming from director Josh Greenbaum, who recently did the documentary Will and Harper and also the movie Strays about a bunch of stray dogs to get into some R-rated raunchy comedy. So it looks like they're going for an edgier new Care Bears movie over at Warner Brothers. I don't know.
Like a Barbie-esque revisit of
Yes.
the genre. Yeah, it's funny. I was literally having this conversation earlier today with the missus. Like, you know, they as far as things trying to make a comeback, why they tried to do G.I. Joe, they tried to do Gem and the Gemstones.
Yeah.
But they never did Gummy Bears, they never did, like, but it's funny. And then here we go. Here's
Although
Care
I will
Bears are
say,
still a thing though. Like
early day in the pandemic, Lonely Island did do the Rescue Rangers, and that was fantastic. The way that they satired everything. That
about that.
movie is
Yeah.
fantastic. If you haven't seen it and you got a Disney Plus subscription, I highly recommend checking out.
Oh, good call. I
Rescue
completely forgot
Rangers.
about that. Man. Oh,
But
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
perfect case. Yeah,
definitely.
like you said, so many beloved properties from the 80s and 90s that they're
Mhm.
just sitting on. But like, yeah, I think they still sell Care Bear dolls. I would assume. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I've still seen him once in a while. He's things referencing him, just
Right.
apparel and shit.
So I don't know. It could be interesting going in an adult manner or a comedy manner.
Yeah,
with
it's that
figures.
walking the line of like grown up family movie. Like I said, if it
Mhm.
was a Barbie in that lane of
Everyone has
if you can
something
pay
that they-
attention to all the storylines of Barbie, then that's a mature enough storyline. I could see Care Bears tackling something like that without it being
Yeah.
too over the top for a young audience, but
right.
maybe over their heads.
But that's not all for nostalgic kids' toys, Dennis. Monster High is getting
my
a live
God.
action version, and it's going to be directed by the man who directed Megan and Megan 2, Gerard Johnstone.
Thank God.
So I guess he kind of gets that PG-13 horror comedy vibe, so it could be a good fit. I don't know the Monster High dolls
Such
very
a
much.
weird like lane to exist in, but I get someone's got to be there. Someone's got to capitalize on that shit. Okay. I know that these were divisive toys when they came out too. So
I know they've had plenty of animated movies. I think I've seen pop up in rental stores.
I know I've done one toy commercial where it was aligned with one of the straight to video movies being released, and that was it. That was my exposure to the world of Monster High. But I mean, I know it was a big deal when they were around. So I'm just surprised it's still is it still a thing? Are they trying to keep it a thing?
Trying to make it a thing, I guess.
Yeah. That's what it more sounds like to me. Let's keep it relevant rather than it's so beloved we have to keep doing it kind of thing.
And speaking of keeping something still a thing, Will Ferrell has announced that he wants to adapt his 2020 Netflix comedy Eurovision into a stage musical. I don't know if you saw this one. It came out back in the pandemic, but essentially he played this Swedish singer who dreamed of being in the Eurovision competition, and one thing leads to another, a bunch of wacky circumstances, and he gets in. But and never in a million years would I think that, hey, let's turn this into a stage musical.
I don't know. I can kind of see that, given just the nature of what the series is, being a like X Factor, American Idol-esque sort of competition, musical
And
series. Why not? Like I feel like
yeah,
you can have the drama play out between songs and the different groups and stuff. Like
true.
it kind of makes sense to me. I could see that. Why this? But cool.
Right?
Good for you,
Yeah,
Will.
yeah. Why not take advantage of? Everyone knows the Eurovision. Well, in
Yes.
Europe, we
Especially
don't.
it's
But
like I feel like especially since the movie came out, there's been more awareness to American audiences. I'm now seeing clips of Eurovision getting posted online more
oh yeah,
often than I
and
ever
some
did
of the music is
before.
kind of enjoyable and silly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I think I want to say ABBA was on Eurovision
Yeah,
way
that's
back
where
in the
they
day.
got their
That's where
start
they got together. Yeah. So
all
there we
those
go.
years ago.
Full circle.
Speaking
Comes
of
back around.
music, it looks like the director of Hustle and Flow, Craig Brewer, will be directing a Snoop Dogg biopic over at Universal.
Cool.
I don't know. I feel like this is long overdue. We got a little bit of a young starting up Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton.
Straight
So
to Compton. Yeah. I
why not
was
give him his own film?
there were so I feel like we had a couple of really good ones come out, and then we had a couple that I feel like were rushed to theaters that didn't do as well.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't as big a fan of the Tupac one. It wasn't
Yeah.
it like because I believe there was a Snoop Dogg in that one too.
All eyes on
Uh
me. Right.
yeah, it didn't resonate nearly as well as Straight Outta Compton did.
Yeah.
Um it
But I
just you
will
could
say, having Craig Brewer, someone who won awards for Hustle and Flow, I feel like he has an appreciation for that genre of music and
exactly
the craft of making a good film.
understanding the
Gives me a
tone
little bit of
and
hope.
including a story. Like it's not just
Mhm.
driven on waiting to see the next thing you remember reading about or hearing about in a song. Like it's actually making an enthralling and engaging
Yes.
film that it's I think the hallmark is you shouldn't have to be a Snoop Dogg fan. You should just make a movie
Mhm.
that's good enough that even if you aren't a fan of his, you find it engaging still. And I
And
think
that's the thing.
we
I've
have the
seen
makeup of that
biopics
right
of
there.
people I don't care about that I
Yeah.
loved. Like,
Yeah.
it happens all the time. So this could be a good case to get on board with Snoop Dogg.
Mhm.
And I think they even said in the press release that they are going to show him going from being a rap star to then kind of like a personality, like working with Martha Stewart and all the commercials and all this other stuff he does. So they're not
Interesting. So
shying
we'll get a
away.
pretty modern Snoop Dogg. Who's going to
I
play
think
like
so.
present day Snoop Dogg?
I
That
don't
would
know how you can't go to Snoop Dogg himself to play
himself.
himself
Yeah,
in those modern, but
the shizzle.
it's definitely a big opportunity for an actor to tackle such a
Awesome.
charismatic man.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I'm here for that. I'm gonna
Right.
show up for a Snoop Dogg movie. So
Well, speaking of movies involving rappers, SZA and Keke Palmer's film One of Them Days is now getting a sequel. And it's funny, I just rewatched this movie the other day because it's on Netflix. Sarah wanted to watch it. And I thought, I'm like, where would they go in a sequel? And then this news came out. I'm like, all right, I'm on board. I'll watch them do it again.
nice. Okay. Yeah,
Like,
I remember being intrigued by this one and gave a decent review of it. Like it's. I
because
remember
yeah,
clips I saw where like it's pretty cheeky. Like it's very like
it's silly, it's cheeky. It kind of feels
yeah,
like a type of movie we don't get very often or anymore.
yes.
And it was kind of a sleeper hit. It made a good amount of money, made an impact. People talked about it, and it was fairly cheap to make. So why not try to reignite that passion in
Oh
that
yeah,
spark?
and it's great talent, and I'm still a good fan of Keke Palmer. She's hilarious. So
Mhm. Oh
I
yeah, great.
give her another film to star in, please. That's
Right? She deserves it.
Mhm.
Well, a movie I know you did see because I believe you reviewed it is getting a sequel. Ma, starring Octavia Spencer.
Yes.
I
And the
don't
next story.
fully
No, I'm
remember
kidding.
how it ended.
It's
But I'm
I
intrigued to see how
remember
they continue.
I just remember being let down by the ending and like I just remember the feeling of please don't let it
Th-
end like this. Please don't let it end like this.
They were building and
And
building,
then
and
they
then
did
there
it.
was like a big reveal, and then it's like, nah, we're done.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
oh,
And
you shot your load too quick.
exactly Ma, don't shoot your load so fast. So yeah, I'm curious if is this something that Octavia Spencer's reprising the role? Is it a
Yes, yep. She's coming back.
prequel? Maybe she did this
That's what
somewhere
I'm
else
wondering.
before. I think would be the more intriguing. Like she's learned how to sharpen these skills.
Mhm.
Like the ingrain herself in a group of young high school
Kid
somethings.
party.
Yeah.
Maybe she's
So
moving to like middle school kids. Like, you want to come party? I got vapes.
retirement community. I've got
I'd
bocce
watch
ball.
that. I really enjoyed most of that movie. So and she's a great actress. So
Yes.
I'm
Oh God,
intrigued to
she's
see where
amazing.
this could
Yes.
go.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Yeah. I want it to go further though. Like if you're giving
Right.
us another one,
Push.
then don't stop us short. Like really, just make me uncomfortable. Like
Mhm.
I wanna be pushed there. So, and you know she
Definitely.
can do it. So
Oh, hell yeah. If anyone can, it's Octavia.
yeah.
Well, speaking of pushing the uncomfortable envelope, Dennis, it now looks like we have information on Saw. We talked about the fact that we were supposed to get a sequel to the last movie by the end of this year, but it got canceled. And there was a lot of
Mhm.
talks about what could happen. But now it looks like Blumhouse has bought Twisted Pictures' 50% stake in the film franchise. So now Lionsgate is still 50% in, but Blumhouse
Okay.
now has a majority, which is interesting because a
Hmm.
part of Blumhouse is Atomic Monster, which is the studio that James Wan created. So this is kind of a coming home
Oh,
because James
kind of.
Wan was the creator of the franchise. So
And
now
you know,
he
there's
has his
probably other
baby.
people in his team that probably came from there too. I'm gonna miss
Mhm.
seeing the spike coming down, wrapping around the barbed
Right.
wire. I did love.
That's yep.
That's one of my favorite studio logos, is Twisted
Mhm.
Pictures. So, but if that's all we're missing, then
Yeah.
so be it.
And if this is a true reboot, that could be fun because that gives us so many different routes and opportunities we could go down.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing what we know about the series and the fan base, you can start
Mhm.
from a really gnarly spot, but you can contain it again. You don't have to, like, if
Yes.
it's a full reboot, you don't need to make it the fucking
Grand
Fast
twists and
9.
turns connect.
You can put it back in one room again. And I would love to see what a freaking $15 million budget would look like in one room, or
Oh,
20
yeah.
million for that matter. You know, they could put way more into it than that, but
Oh, and
it
the
would
fact
be
that
wildly impressive.
20 something years ago he had an intriguing story in that setting. Think about all the things he's probably thought of in that interim, like that he can
Yeah.
now just unleash on us.
Right.
So I don't know. I look forward to seeing where they go. But staying in the realm of classic horror films, there's a bidding war happening for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and there's some big players aboard. We got Jordan Peele and his Monkey Paw Studios looking to get in the game. We got Yellowstone
Yes.
creator Tyler Sheridan with
Oh,
Paramount. We got the Monkey director Oz Perkins in Neon, and then we have Glenn Powell in A24, and also
no,
Netflix, but nobody attached. And it's like,
no.
okay, these are a lot of big names, but what do they want to bring? Who's more suited for it?
Netflix
Do we
has
want to give it to a
already
newer?
done their damage to Leatherface.
Mhm.
Let's move past them. A24, I think, has lost some of the prestige they used to
Yeah,
have
they've
in horror.
changed things. Yeah.
So I probably would have been on board with that. But no, let's go back. Like, are you kidding me? Jordan Peele, you know he could
Right?
fucking crush that. But as soon as you said Taylor Sheridan, that's interesting because he's from
Uh-huh.
Texas, isn't he? So
Probably.
the lore and the fantasy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre as both the film and the like incident it was based on,
History.
it's I'm sure there's a good awareness of that. So that would be
Right.
interesting to see his version. I do like his take on in cinema, like in film, versus
He
just
has
the
a rich
series it is.
palette.
He crushes it on the big screen. So
Mhm.
either of those two, I'm buying a ticket for sure.
Definitely. I hope it works out for some of them.
Mhm.
But it's like, it would be nice seeing someone new come in, but it's like, why not give someone who's established a shot at this? Not just
Oh, Jordan
some
Peele
young
Texas
up-and-comer.
Chainsaw Massacre. Oh my god.
Right?
That would be fucking crazy. Oh man.
Right? Well, speaking of Jordan Peele, a while ago he had a short-lived Twilight Zone reboot, but now it looks like there might be a new movie being directed by Severance director Ben Stiller.
Hey, why
I
not?
don't know.
Given his like level of like perfectionism,
Mhm.
uh I'm curious what going further into the weird. I think could be a good thing. I mean, Severance is
He
just
gets it.
absolutely stellar television. So really, really going for it and swinging for the fences could be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd
If
be
anybody
up for that.
after that run of 2 seasons of a fantastic show that never falters, he gets that comedy, that eeriness, that sci-fi. Yeah, he gets it all.
Mhm.
Why not? Let's see. It would have been cool seeing Jordan Peele do a movie, but he got to do a couple seasons of a show. So
That's true. Yeah, yeah. I think that's also lets him like spread out a little more too. We want to see
yeah,
more Jordan Peele movies, and
yeah, not just see him do a franchise that we've already seen done before.
yeah, I which is funny because now we're like I'm trying to be excited for Ben Stiller doing the very same thing, but it's like the direction I think I could see Ben Stiller taking it.
Mhm.
I'm very intrigued by. Nothing against
Right?
Jordan Peele, obviously. I was just hyped to
Yeah.
hear about the the last film we discussed,
Texas
but
Chainsaw Possibility.
um the straight horror, I want more just hardcore horror from
Mhm.
him. You know,
Yeah. Do
that's
an
I've been
original thing.
blown
Like
away. Yes.
he gets it.
Hmm. He always finds a new way to make you look at something, even if you've seen this before many
Mhm.
times. So,
And he gets you to question the shit out of it, man.
mhm.
A big bad way.
Yep.
But
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
so time will tell what's going on there. But that does it for the news this episode, man.
All right. Well, I think that takes us to our next segment of polls.
Oh, I think so. Let's hit that theme song.
Polls. It's a great song.
All right. Up first on episode 215, I reviewed the latest Disney live action remake of an animated classic, Lilo and Stitch. So I wanted to know what the Toasties wanted to see next become live action formed out of Hercules, The Emperor's New Groove, Tangled, and Big Hero 6.
Okay, I gotta say, Hercules would probably be really badass. That actually
Right.
would be a fun, like tell the same, see him younger and then like go through the trials. But Emperor's New Groove as live action would be
It'd
fucking
be fun.
hilarious. I would
Mhm.
love to see that. But keep David Spade, keep John Goodman.
Yep.
Like-
Yes. Yes. Those two together in live action form still works because he was an older man and he
Yeah.
was a younger emperor who didn't take things seriously. So
Fuck
David
it.
Spade
Keep,
might not be
bring
young anymore.
Patrick
but
Warburton back. That's why not?
yeah, crunk it up.
Kronk was great.
Was it Eartha Kitt as Yzma?
Yes,
I don't think it was.
I believe.
Eartha. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because they was even animated. They animated a lot
Kinda
of
looked
her acting style and just their mannerisms into it too. Yeah, that was a classic. It's funny. I was just talking about this the other day too. I remember seeing that in theaters, but no, easily Emperor's New
Right.
Groove.
Yeah.
But
Thank
I'm
you.
guessing
That's why-
Toasties would say Big Hero 6.
I'd see. I'd
That's my
want
guess.
that. I'd love to see that. But then it's like, is that a Marvel movie? I don't know.
Oh.
And then another thing people did kind of fight me on. They're like, well, actually, Tangled is happening. And I'm like, oh, it was happening. But then Snow White happened and it's been put
Yeah,
on pause indefinitely.
We're gonna
And-
hold up on on that stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, time will tell because Lilo and Stitch made money. They're going to do more. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. I would love a Hercules. I love a Big Hero 6. Tangled would be fun. But Emperor's New Groove was the whole reason I wanted it because I'm like, I'd love to see that in live action. It's one of their last greatest animated films, in my opinion, of the hand drawn look. But,
Oh yeah, that as I said, that art style is gorgeous. The story is great,
mhm.
and then the talent in that movie is fantastic.
Top notch.
So-
But the Toasties have spoken, and let's find out what they have to say.
I'm really oh
10% for Hercules. I thought it would have been higher.
I'm glad there isn't a 0% in this lineup.
Yes,
I'm glad
that's
everything has
true.
something because I could see merit for all of them.
Mhm.
Hercules, I think, makes the most sense. But I'm
Yeah, it's the
surprised it's on
most structured, most
Yes.
regular type of. We've seen Hercules films before. We haven't seen
Mhm.
Disney's Hercules in
Exactly.
live action. All right. So up next we have 20% for the Emperor's New
Oh.
Groove.
Okay, all right.
A little more love, but yeah.
See, I can't even be mad at the Toasties. That's still
Right?
more than I kind of thought it would have
It
got.
deserves, yeah. It could have gone a 0 to 10.
Yeah.
20% for Big Hero 6. So that makes
Really?
sense. Yeah. I felt like that could have been higher because you got this fun robot, this action, comic
Yeah.
book vibe. But the Toasties have spoken. 50%. Everyone wants to see Tangled, man. Because
I mean, it's a
Rapunzel
good.
deserves to let her hair down.
I enjoyed Tangled in theaters. Yeah. It's funny. I was so sure it would have been Big Hero 6.
Right?
Dang. I'm glad it. Yeah. Glad we
Uh-huh.
didn't have a bet on that one because I.
But
Shit.
it's always interesting to see other people's takes. Like you and I, we kind of hit the same marks with where we think they should
Right,
go,
like,
but
but yeah, between each other. But then we miss.
no one else.
We miss the pulse of the movie going public. Yeah, once in a while.
Right? Oh boy. So up next, also on episode 215, I reviewed the latest Mission Impossible movie, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and it's quote unquote the final movie in the franchise, but that doesn't mean characters can't get spun off into their own films. So I wanted to know what the Toasties' thoughts on a possible spin-off for the following characters would be. Would they want to see Benji, Simon Pegg's character, Grace, Haley Atwell's character, Paris, Pom Klementif's character, or Degas, Greg Tarzan Davis's character? And I don't know. For me, I think it's probably easy to assume it would have to be Benji. I love me some Simon Pegg.
Oh my god, yes.
Haley Atwell's also badass. Pom's badass.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm a fan of Haley Atwell. She's a badass. She's suave.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad looking on camera either. But she's also I do like that Marvel's routinely pulling her back into their universe, and I think we're gonna get a Lady Britain or
something like that. Yeah,
we're like
because Captain America. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Captain.
I like that she's kind of living out that in the what ifs and
at least what ifs. Yeah,
I would not be surprised if one day we get her.
I mean, we did get her in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse
yes,
Madness.
yeah. What am I saying? Of course, yeah. But let's not have her get vaporized.
Who wouldn't be surprised if we saw her pop up in Secret Wars? I feel like that's a slam dunk. Everyone
that's gonna happen. But we digress. We're both definitely in the same boat as we want to see. We would watch a Simon Pegg Mission Impossible spinoff. Yes. Sorry, Pom, but.
Right. I mean, she's a badass character.
She
doesn't speak very often, so that'd be interesting. But yeah,
right.
Let's find out what those Toasties said, Dennis. 11% for Miss Atwell's Grace. A little lower than
Grace. I just, jeez, shut up, Tom.
12% for Greg Tarzan Davies Degas. And I tried remembering, was he in the previous movies before the last two? I don't recall. I feel like he was newer in the last two movies.
Was he the very end of the previous one?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
The very end.
This last movie, yeah.
He's on the train. He's working with what's his name?
What's his face?
They're supposed to be arresting him, but he's like lets him.
He kind of sees
Tom
Cruise's point.
Yeah. And then he gets the he gets the offer, or they or whatever, however they fucking say it.
Yeah. See the movie if you haven't.
Yeah.
33% for Pom's Paris. So, with no surprise, 44% for the always fun Benji Simon Pegg.
Benji, come on.
One, we finally have the Toasties on our side, because who doesn't want more Simon Pegg in their life, man?
Like, what is he doing between all these missions? Let's get into that. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Like, he has to live a life. He doesn't always want to be pulled into these fucking crazy situations.
I want to see him just trying to like kick his feet up on a beach and then gets pulled into some like fucking, and then this terrorist hostage situation breaks out. He's like, oh, well, I guess I might as well.
But he has to be the one kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
Like, oh, where's fucking everyone else to do this? You need me to do it?
We got to isolate him. We got to make it so he can't contact anyone. He's got to figure it out himself.
Like, maybe everyone else he works with in the past, they're all in danger or captive, and he's the only man for the job.
Right. Yeah. Oh, totally. I mean,
I don't know why we're trying to write this movie, but please.
Because I want to see him star in an action movie again. That's what.
Right? He deserves. Get Simon Pegg in there to direct it. They'll be the new duo. Simon.
Oh.
I mean, did I say Simon Pegg? Well, yeah, he could direct it. I meant Edgar Wright.
I agree. It's fine. I knew. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
meant Edgar Wright.
I just had to correct myself because whenever you listen to this later, I'm going to be like, "You stupid son of a bitch," because I do that very often when I proof listen. Either way.
By the way, this still you have of Simon Pegg is great.
Yeah.
Just the expression. Of, I didn't do it. It just
you can already see it coming out. Yeah,
it's great. Oh man.
So that's gonna do it for the polls, but we can get into the main section of the show here, Dennis.
Oh, that's what you're here for, folks.
Ice camera action, it's review time. Dennis and Adam, we gon' blow your mind. We're stepping up to the plate, ready to swing. Analyzing movies like a scientist with bling.
All right, Dennis, you are our first scientist with bling to lead us off, but I will jump in on this review with you a little bit.
Let's do some science.
Yes.
All right, folks. This is the Apple TV Plus original film, Fountain of Youth. This takes our two main characters, John Krasinski and Natalie Portman, who are the Purdue siblings, children of a very Indiana Jones-esque adventurer that chased all sorts of wild tales around the world, finding artifacts, but lived by a strict code that the two siblings have now parted ways through life. One has become a museum curator, started a family. Things are kind of on the rocks. John Krasinski is pursued this world, but he's living kind of this sort of isolated life of being constantly on the run and an infamous thief. He's considered a artifact or art thief. We also have Isaac Gonzalez, Domhnall Gleeson, Carmen Ejogo. I apologize for saying the name wrong. Stanley Tucci, Laz Alonso. I mean, it's we've got some killer cast in this movie. It is a globe-trotting trek from
directed by Guy Ritchie.
Yes,
director.
Absolutely, yeah.
Making to be a fantastic movie.
You know exactly where I'm about to go next, sir. I
know too well.
So I got to be honest. I remember when I saw the trailer, I'm like, you know what? This could be fun. If you have all of these people here, the script must be good, right?
Wrong.
Yeah, wrong. Very, very wrong. This is basically a very rushed, cobbled together mashup of Indiana Jones and National Treasure in a very incongruent mix of one property to another. It's so all over the place in which end of the scales it's trying to tip. And I will say, given the locations, they go to several real world locations. It looks gorgeous. The sets they build were awesome. The section of sunken ship, Lusitania, was awesome. That was a cool fucking set. I really liked the places. Good. The action was cool. Dialogue, not so good. It is pretty cheesy. And then the plot itself was very elementary.
Let's get into that. So a billionaire is dying and he wants to find the Fountain of Youth, and he goes to John Krasinski's character for help. And John goes to his sister for help. And she doesn't want to do it, but they have to do it. And then they can't fully do it. And guess who can help figure this out? Natalie Portman's young musical prodigy son is dragged into this adventure.
You don't love Dad as much as I did. Well, you don't love Dad as much as I did.
Fuck you.
We're going to Egypt. Yeah, it's just like, oh my God. There were so many for a movie that was what, 2:15? Too long. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Way too fucking long. Almost every scene felt like they should have trimmed a significant out of every movement of the movie. Why do we need to watch Natalie Portman get drunk on the private plane for as long as we did? Why did we need them to, I'm storming out because this is too dangerous for my son. Wait, let's go right back upstairs because I figured out the next puzzle and we're just going to keep doing it anyways. The movie keeps doubling back on itself way too many times. There's no mystery. There's no twist. Everything they try to
they give the plot twist away in the movie.
Yeah.
40 minutes earlier, they say what's going to happen.
Yes. I don't want to spoil any like later details, but there was things I said out loud to Val within the first 20 minutes because I was already. It took us actually 2 sittings to watch this. We got through the first hour, and we just stopped. I almost fell asleep, and then ironically, as soon as I turned the movie off, I started waking back up. We watched the other movie I reviewed later in the episode, which I'm excited to share. Finished all of that in one sitting because, of course, and then came back to this the next day. And I'm glad I split it up because, goddamn, I appreciate what they were trying to do.
Sure.
I was getting my groceries checked out at the grocery store, and the cashier's asking, "Oh, what are you up to tonight?" "Oh, I'm going to be watching this movie." Oh, it was just like, really?
That's good when you're.
I saw the trailer.
Like, what?
He's like, "I saw the trailer for that, and it looked like a really cheap Uncharted." And I'm like, "Well, it's what it looks like to me, but I won't know till I see it." And it's like, "Yeah, you let me know how that is." I'm like, "Yeah."
Now, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you, my biggest flaw here. I have 2 flaws. A, fantastic cast, but his posse that he rolls with, they'll have very specific skill sets, but I feel like none of them add anything to the story.
We don't fucking use them.
They're dead weight.
Randomly, halfway through the movie, Domhnall Gleeson all of a sudden knows hand-to-hand combat and can just fucking kick ass. Deb, Carmen Ejogo's character, does like 2 things in the movie. For someone who's been in so many movies, who's so talented, you give her almost no dialogue, and she's of very little use. Laz Alonso is regulated to basically being a fucking driver and a long-distance bodyguard that doesn't really.
And I'm sorry, he is the most dynamic character in this movie. His presence is great.
And I will totally misuse Mother's Milk. Come on, man. Jesus.
Like, I will say I did like Isa Gonzalez and Stanley Tucci, but it honestly, sadly, took me a little too long to realize, oh, that's who they are. Like,
oh, dude,
by the middle of the movie, I'm like, that makes sense, but why did I not understand that earlier?
As soon as we met her, I'm like, they're the guys trying to protect the
Fountain of Youth.
Well, Indiana Jones. The chalice.
Wow.
What am I trying to say? The cup. The
fucking, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, damn it.
It's
the same organization. Like, it's like you're just doing the same. You literally lifted it out. Yes, there is lore. Yes, there is pre-existing stories of groups like this. Sure. I'm fine with that. Same with the Fountain of Youth itself is not a novel concept. You're using things, but then they took all of this, they created all this new story about how to find it and where it is and all the shit. And I'm like, you couldn't have been a little more creative with this group.
Sorry, I had
yeah,
dumb.
Yeah, the Holy Grail is like you did the same thing as protecting the Holy, like. It was just missing carrying it over the fucking threshold on the ground and the temple fall on top of their heads. That's as close as this movie freaking got. And
I'm sorry, my biggest flaw, besides those characters being underutilized, was John Krasinski's character felt very kind of underwritten. It felt like sometimes they wanted him to be a suave, sly guy, and other times he was a goofy, nerdy guy.
And then Jim Halpert shows up. Yeah, like
and it just fluctuated. They didn't know if he was cool or kind of a loser or a badass.
So my sister thinks we got something going on. It's just like, shut the fuck up. You did not earn this.
You got nothing going on. Yeah,
you didn't. I understand what they were aiming for, but it wasn't. They didn't hit that till like the very end. Well, should I?
And when we meet him in the beginning, he's running through being chased on foot and by fucking tuk-tuks in Bangkok, and I'm like, oh, this is great, this guy's cool. And then he gets
hit by a car. Oh. It's that, like, they have some, like you said, they had some cool moments. The fight on the Lusitania segment, I liked getting in and out of there. When they tried to raise the stakes like that, it was fun. But the climax of the film, I was done.
Yeah,
I was ready for the movie to be over, and it's like you said, it's really feel too bad because there's so many great actors. Ron Moyad, who plays the Interpol agent, he was kind of cool. I liked his character, underutilized. We didn't see enough of he's one of the only genuine good guys in the whole movie.
And he compared to everyone logically.
Else. Yes.
Like the way he goes about doing what he does, it's like, all right, I can see his side. I'm with him.
Yeah. So it's really too bad. It was a movie that had so many things going for it, and none of them hit for me personally.
And this could be a pretty big tentpole franchise, but I don't see it going any
We'll have to
further.
see how the views go. Yeah. I was so
But
ready to start Stick.
We've had
after
other reviews like this where we've said this, and then sequels galore.
5 movies later. Where,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So how many slices are you giving this, Bad Larry?
Oh, I went back and forth a couple of times, but I'm going to give Fountain of Youth 1.5 slices. That last half a slice is purely for the locations and the sets, because I thought the sets looked gorgeous.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Now, I've shat all over this, but surprisingly, I kind of liked it a little bit more than you, I think. I'm going to give it 2 slices of toast. 2.25 slices.
A whole half a slice.
Like, I'm not
3/4
saying
of
I
a slice.
loved
3/4 portions.
I'm not saying I hated it, but I feel like, I don't know, if you're a fan of that style of film, you could like it, but don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. It's just not the oh shit. And then my pen fell apart as I'm writing down our slices here. That is just how brutal this movie is. It destroyed my pen when I was writing about it.
You're gonna get yourself a fountain pen, a fountain of youth pen.
Ah, here you go.
All right, Dennis. I'll bring a new.
Give us a good movie, man. Yeah.
All right, I'll try. I'll see.
Something tasty here.
I've got Karate Kid Legends. All right, so this is a merging of 2 worlds, Dennis. This is a merging of Kung Fu and karate. So this takes place in modern day. Mr. Han, as we know, Jackie Chan's character from the Karate Kid remake.
Classic.
He's it's only been a few years, but now he is a thriving Kung Fu school in Beijing. Like, he went from being a janitor in his last movie to a badass teacher of Kung Fu. Well, anyways, he has a star pupil named Li Fong who has great potential, and Han loves him. He's kind of like an uncle to him. And one thing led to another, and Li Fong's brother was murdered because of Kung Fu, so Li Fong's mother has forbidden Li Fong from fighting ever again, and she wants to take him away from Hong and his Kung Fu lessons, so she takes a job in New York City and uproots her young son. Well, trouble still finds Mr. Li Fong, because he ends up falling for a girl who a bad boy MMA fighter likes and once dated. And he starts a relationship with this young girl. And then it turns out this young girl's father owns a pizza joint, but he took money from a loan shark who's ready to collect on his debts. And of course, this pizza place owner used to be a boxer, but gave it up to raise his daughter. And he's a single father. But if he can fight in this prestigious underground match, he can get enough money to pay back the loan shark and save the day. But he doesn't have the skills. So what does he do? He ends up being trained Kung Fu by Li Feng. That's how good this kid is. But the boxing match does not go good, and this guy ends up in the hospital. And Li Feng hangs up his Kung Fu gi. I don't know what they have, but he decides it's time not to do it anymore. And he starts ghosting Han. Mr. Han is texting him, and he's like, something is wrong. And Han flies to America, and he's determined to get Li Feng back into this shape. And he's like, we're going to help this pizza guy get his company back. And guess what? There just so happens to be this prestigious karate tournament happening soon. So I'm going to train you, even though your mother doesn't want you fighting. We're going to do this. But I can't do it alone. I only know Kung Fu. So I'm going to go to an old friend star pupil, a young man who's not so young anymore, named Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah.
A karate master, a sensei, to help me teach you karate. And within a week, our hero is ready to fight. And I can't tell you what happens, Dennis, but by God, there's a fight.
There's a lot. That's
yeah.
I was curious how the fuck are we going to get them in the same story?
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn. I
yeah.
I wouldn't have thrown. Oh man.
And one of the ways this karate
Interesting.
tournament's going to help is because it just so happens to have a grand prize of $50,000.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I'm not gonna lie. The first viewing I had, I was like lukewarm on it. But I misscheduled some movies on one night, and I happen to had a like 2 hour gap, and this is an hour and 30-minute movie. So I saw it twice in one night, and it honestly grew on me the second viewing I saw it in. And
Okay.
the first time I went to the restroom in between viewings, I heard not an older guy, a guy about my age talking to his young son. He's like, "Oh, do you like that?" And the kid's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What was your favorite part?" And the kid's like, "I liked the karate." He's like, "Oh, who was your favorite character?" He's like, "The Karate Kid." And I'm like, "All right, I get this. This is for a new generation. Cool." And then when I was
Nice.
watching the second time, I heard like a dad explaining to another different young kid, "Oh, this is blah 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 from this and that."
Why it's significant? Okay.
And then you could hear the kids just enjoying it. Normally, people talking takes me out of it, but I'm like, it kind of made me enjoy it more because I'm like, oh, fresh eyes. Now, new generation of people
Right.
can like this. Now, was there a call back to Jaden Smith? I'm not going to tell you. Does it connect to Cobra Kai? I'm not going to tell you. But what I
hope not.
will tell you, Dennis,
Yeah. What's that?
this movie was good, but felt slightly wonky. Like I said, Lee was so good, he taught his girlfriend's dad kung fu. And he's
In a
so
week.
good, he learned karate in a week.
Oh, that's
And
right. Yeah,
Daniel
yeah, yeah.
LaRusso was also like, I mean, I'm a good sensei, but it's kind of hard to teach someone karate in 1 week. And then Jackie Chan's Han's like, but you haven't met my student yet. And then like they showed him how badass he was, and he's like, this
Well,
could
I'm
work.
from the valley.
and that's the thing, like they built this up as the pairing of a century with fucking Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Han, Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio.
And they're like
But-
barely in it together.
Yeah, they're barely in it together and
I knew
barely
it.
in the movie.
Oh,
But when they
man.
are, the movie thrives because that's what we're there for. That's the badassness of this. And the action is kinetic and fun. It has a great soundtrack.
Oh, cool.
A lot of product placement. But
I mean, the show was guilty of it too, but
true.
I can let it slide if we get back into the action. You know, like
Yes.
it is kind of realistic to a certain extent. And it's so funny because I've been seeing all these interviews and like the press junket material with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, and it's so funny because everyone's showing is Jackie Chan talking about how excited he was to work with Ralph Macchio and how much he liked the Karate Kid movies. I'm like, we gonna listen to Ralph Macchio talk about how much he liked fucking Jackie Chan movies? Because I bet you that happened. I could probably get.
Yeah.
So it's funny how they're leaning the promotion for it because it sounds like it's way more Jackie Chan's movie. So it's funny to hear like, well, it's neither of their movie. It's the kid.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah,
Karate Kid.
the kid's
not-
really good. The kid has charisma and charm. And
Nice.
his girlfriend, I'm forgetting her name, but like I've worked with her before. She was on that Netflix movie I did years ago, and it's like, and she was on the
Oh, nice.
Goldbergs. But these two together are really charming. And the dad
Nice.
of the pizza place, he's a character when you first meet him, like, ah, fuck this guy. But then like you really like the dad. And it's interesting because normally in these Karate Kid movies, you're seeing a single mother raising their kid.
that's
But
true.
in this,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
seeing the dad and how much he's happy to be raising this kid and giving up what he loves for her. But the dad was great. He was Joshua Jackson. He was on, I think, like 90210, but fantastic. Fantastic. And like I said, there's a lot going on in this movie, but it's only 94 minutes and it flies by.
That's
It's
quick.
great.
All that shit you described, and it still takes place in that length of time. That's amazing.
Yeah, they don't
That's cool,
waste
man.
time. Like you're just in it. Now, what I will say, is it a perfect movie? No, but it's a good movie. But I loved Cobra Kai so much more. I wanted more of the Cobra Kai flair, but whatever. But I will say, the very final scene before the title card, there's a pretty nice scene that should have been a post-credit scene. All I'm gonna say, and that was my favorite scene of the whole movie. I wonder why. I don't know. I'm gonna
Just
give
fucking
Karate
Johnny
Kid
shows up.
Legends. Let's just say someone says the best pizza is in Encino, and that was one of my favorite lines.
Yes.
Okay,
Nice.
I'm
sorry.
gonna give Karate Kid Legends 3 slices of the toast. It's fun. It's definitely a great merging. I would love to see more of these characters coming together. Do I need more? No, but I'd like to see it. But like I said, if you haven't seen Cobra Kai, go and watch it because it adds so much. And I will say, I left this out of the story. In the beginning of the movie, they did start off with a flashback to one of the earlier movies with LaRusso as a kid and with Mr.
Oh.
Miyagi. And then they kind of cut away to a picture and explained how the Han family and the Miyagi family, how they kind of met and why they're close. And it
Nice.
brought it
Okay.
together pretty solidly. And it's like, oh shit, that's smart. Yeah. Definitely
That's
worth
cool.
checking out if you like the franchise.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, I got one more movie before I let you jump back in here, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Is
what
that
you got, man?
okay? I have a new comedy movie called I Don't Understand You. I don't know if you've seen anything about this movie. I didn't know much about
No.
it. I just knew that it starred Andrew Rannells and Nick Kroll, and that's all I needed to know. And I was thoroughly impressed by this one. So they
Okay.
play a couple who've been married for 10 years and they want to have a kid. They kind of got conned out of someone who claimed they had a baby, and they gave all this money to this person and they got screwed over. And now they're up for adoption on a baby that's about to be born. But they want to take their minds off of thinking about that because there's a few weeks before the baby's born and they find out whether they're going to become fathers. So they decide to spend their 10-year anniversary in Italy. And they're already on the rocks a little bit, but then things get really out of control when they're in Italy. They're driving and they get lost in the woods. They kind of get help from someone. They don't speak the language. They end up at this restaurant that they were trying to get at. There's this old lady who's gone through loss who is making food for them for the first time. It's kind of airy. It's kind of weird. One thing leads to another, and this woman gets essentially murdered by one of them. Total accident happenstance. And it's about, oh shit, what do we do? How do we cover this up? And then the stakes get higher and higher, and the body counts go and go, and these guys become murderers,
Okay.
even though they're not murderers. But it kind of reminded me a bit of a movie I talked about a lot on here, Tucker and Dale versus Evil,
Oh, yeah.
where happenstance things make terrible things happen.
Okay.
And
Yes.
but it's just fun watching these two guys because they're likable. They're great guys. They mean well, and they're trying to do everything in their power to make everything work and to try to. It's just a weird circumstance. I don't want to spoil things, but just the comedy of where's this going next, and holy shit, that's happening. Holy fuck! I even felt bad saying that the woman died, but I think that's in the plot description of the movie, so I'm not spoiling anything there. But these two together have this great chemistry. I believe them as a couple. The comedy's sharp. Like I said, it's shot in like Italy, and it's beautiful looking, and it just has this vibe that I love. Like it just felt so charming and like, is it a comedy? Is it a horror? I feel like it's a dark comedy, a black comedy. I loved it. I don't understand you. I'm gonna give 3.5 slices of toast. It's a fun little unexpected film that I really dug.
Nice, man. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a fun time.
Definitely.
I'll have to check that one out.
This is another one where I want to talk so much about it, but I don't want to spoil
don't-
anything for
right.
people.
For sure. For sure.
Because it's just so insane. And like, there's moments where I'm rooting for these people, but I'm like, oh, they're kind of becoming shitty people. I want the good, but they're good people, but they're kind of bad people. But
Doing all the bad
they
things.
don't mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can. And their minds are just focused on getting a baby. And this, somehow, all these deaths bring them closer together. And that's kind of sweet, I guess.
Oh, that's funny.
But
Nice,
speaking of
nice.
deaths, you got a movie about a bunch of killers, I think.
That I do. The latest entry into the Predator universe was released on Hulu recently. Predator Killer of Killers.
Watch out
So
for Sanson.
I totally kept calling this Hunter of Hunters, which I think
Right.
totally would work just as well. But Killer of Killers is a little more badass. So
Yeah.
this is a animated pseudo anthology of stories of 3 different warriors across human history. We have a ninja, we have a Viking, and we have a World War II era fighter pilot. All of them have been observed in unique circumstances where they've been able to defeat Yaoja, right? Yes, to defeat a Yaoja in combat that was trying to hunt them. This is like tradition among their race. They deliberately seek out the hardest to kill thing and try to best them in combat. And all of them have been observed to do this through one manner or the other, through very awesome, just gripping stories individually. The combat is badass. The visuals are striking. I love the animation. All for it to add up to now the three of them, turns out they've been preserved all this time. They're brought onto this arena where they now must fight to the death before a Yautja that is just the baddest of the bad, who is, it seems to be a form of entertainment for the rest of the Predator aliens and on this whatever planet they're on, because it doesn't look like the one from Predators. I gotta say, this is definitely a different place.
It's like a battle world almost.
Yes, exactly. This thing was badass, and like I said, it's 90 minutes. It moves quick.
It flies by.
The three chapters, I love the titles. We get the shield, the sword, and the bullet. All of them are very well told. Very little dialogue. And in fact, even the cast, like,
it's minimal.
It's very it is very minimal. Michael Biehn was the only voice that really jumped out at me. The like the wing commander, the guy who's in charge of our fighter pilot. It was really the only voice that I picked up on right away as we're watching.
But it works because it lends it, because we're getting Norse diction,
ancient
like,
Viking, exactly.
Yeah,
it's ancient,
and we're getting Japanese, so we're feeling immersed, and so I think that kind of added to the story a little bit, in my opinion.
I liked the boldness of the art style, where it was like sort of a hand drawn-ish, not watercolor, but like look more painted on,
beautiful
than drawn.
My only flaw with that is the way it moved. Like, it felt like frames were missing, like laggy.
Sometimes, or like you would get things that objects would move when it's not like the objects are moving. It was just the stylistic approach.
But it's like, that was purposeful. So it's like, all right, but it looks beautiful. And like you said, the action was just intense. Like, it felt like the whole movie was kind of cut scenes from video games, the most interesting, badass moments, and the way they all use their weapons of choice. And I loved everyone together, and I'm like, oh, they get better and better as they go. And then when you put all three of them together, it's like, oh shit, I didn't know this was happening. And it just was the best watching it happen.
That was good. I did watch a couple versions of the trailer, and I'm really, really happy they didn't spell out where the movie was landing. And I was so excited when it built up to that. It's like, wait a minute, there's like 20 minutes left. What?
Right?
What's left?
3 segments.
And then it was like the coolest part of the movie. It was like, holy shit.
Perfect.
That was so awesome. I don't think you could have got away with doing this live action. You had to do this animated. And I would watch this again. Like, I would watch more of this. I did there was a pretty badass Easter egg at the very end of the movie. It's not a post-credit scene or any of that kind of shit. It's right there at the end. If you're a fan of Dan Trachtenberg's last entry into the series, you'll pick up on the Prey reference. It's funny. I saw it immediately, and Val was like, "Wait a minute, who's that?"
Well,
it's like,
you gotta really remember the movie to be like, yeah, that's it.
I was so hyped.
That's the other thing. Besides that, it wasn't the same Predator going out and fighting each of these guys. It was always a different, distinguished looking Predator, and they had their own different fighting styles and different
Everyone's
weapons.
earned their own. Yeah, it's like everyone has their own approach. They've earned their own scars. They have the way they do it. And I like that there's certain traditions that they all hold, but it is up to the individual to do it the way you want to. So it makes every film that you've seen throughout like the Predator and Aliens series, they all still work. They all still make sense. Nothing really breaks it because you're seeing only those individuals' actions, or you're only seeing this group or this tribe of Yautja do their thing. And I really, really enjoyed their approach here. And I really like when studios take this risk of you can make a movie for a fraction of the amount of money, but it's so much more entertaining. That's what I was trying to say earlier. This was way better than Fountain of Youth to me. And it was so gripping, and I was in it. I was invested in the characters. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the story. There was a much richer story here. I felt for all of them and the trials that they go through. So good. I really enjoy the adult animated films like this when they really take it this far. Yeah.
I will say, however, My only major flaw, besides the frame rate and whatnot, not the frame rate, the glitchy looks to it, was the fact that all of these different warriors are like, they never take a second to be like, oh fuck, that's like an alien type thing, or oh, what's that technology? They're all just like, all right, I don't care, I'm just fighting. Like, I feel like anybody would be taken back for a second, and then
We
they've realized, oh, I can use their technology against them, and I know how to use it. And I'm like, that I would have improved on a bit, but it's so minor, it doesn't matter.
we did.
But I don't know.
It's cheesy, but in my mind, it's a little along those lines. We didn't get a single one of "you're one ugly motherfucker." Like we didn't get. I wanted one. I wanted
And I
one of
kinda
them to
thought
say that. That would have been cool.
they might find a way to tie in the original like Predator. I'm like, oh, maybe they're
Oh,
gonna give us something animated to, but I'm like, no, but they didn't need to.
right.
Like you said, you got that prey Easter egg, and
Yes,
the way it ends, it's like this could go on.
and it's because it's sort of timeless, because only the most recent warrior they've acquired is from 1942,
Right?
43. By the time he's brought to their planet, we probably haven't got to the 1980s on Earth yet.
True.
Maybe, I don't know. Not that even matters. I like that it's because of their technology and their. I respect the way they do their murder. Like it's not just
Yes.
wholesale killing. It's they are conquering things. It's the old Mandalorian lore from Star Wars. It's not killing for the sake of killing. It is killing this thing who's good at killing. I want to be better than that. To then be better than that. To be, it's that is so much more interesting, and
Yeah.
I find that more entertaining. So I do find it interesting though. This film is considered a prequel to Prey, but I have obviously I have to disagree with.
Well,
I guess
maybe
technically parts of it.
certain spots in the movie.
Yes,
act as
yeah.
prequel.
Yes, that is true. Going back to the 800, what is it?
Viking
40
Norse
something
days
AD. That was. And they're all cool. I can't even say one part was cooler than the other because I loved that they all had their own rich, interesting battle.
And
that
they
they
didn't
all
have to spend too long, and they all had their own unique stories, and they all had their own pain, and
Yes.
they like it was a complete 3-act structure that then paid off when all three come together,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
there was heart and emotion, not just
absolutely.
carnage. Yeah, I enjoyed Predator Killer of Killers. I think I'd give it 2.5 slices. I think maybe a less than you probably are going to give it, but I'm intrigued to see where you're at.
I'm gonna give it 3 slices. It's
Nice.
it's solid. No, trick that. I'm gonna give it 3.5. I liked
There
it
you
that much.
go.
It was I have a hard time honestly thinking of things I didn't like about it. It's
Mhm.
I probably like the style of animation a little more than you, it sounds like, but it sounds like we're
Yeah,
both on equal ground when it comes to the story itself. The way it's
the
written, the
story.
pacing of it, brilliant. That just
I
worked
didn't.
so
I
well.
didn't hate the animation. I love the look of the animation. I just hated the movement of the animation,
Oh, yeah,
which I know is
yes.
weird to say,
That
but yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
totally get it. That aspect of the style. I mean, there's definitely stuff that's done things like that before where they've dropped it even
Mhm.
further, where like it's a little more
But I'm happy that they took the
jumpy than
risk
that,
and did
but
something different, and it wasn't just CG schlock.
yes,
They
yeah,
really put
I'm with you
art
there.
behind it. Yeah. Nice, nice. And I'm happy. Like we have that, and then we're having Predator Badlands later on in the year. So wonder how
Yeah,
that might connect.
right around the
All Dan
corner,
Trachtenberg.
right? Is it? Are we picking?
Hmm.
Are we going to pick the story right back up? Which they totally leave it open to that, but I kind of don't need. I don't need to
No.
either. It was so
Yeah.
engaging. Let's show me some more people thrown into this world. That'd be
Right.
cool.
For sure.
I gotta get a
Well.
new pen real quick. I'm sorry, this thing died
Yeah.
as I was trying to write down the last things here. Apologies.
Well. As Dennis does that, I don't want to start my next review without Dennis being here. I'll
Oh,
just tell
that's
you
real
about.
quick.
Oh, here we go.
I'm back. Yeah, it's
And
fast. I'm close to my pens.
Al, we can cut that out. I don't know where I was going. I was going to go somewhere with it, but I thought I had a stall. We can just trim that out there. Sorry. Thank you, watcher or person who has it playing in the background. All right. So my next review here is a new movie based on a Stephen King novella and directed by Michael Flanagan, a pretty big horror director. The movie I speak of is called The Life of Chuck. Now, you can go back and watch my trailer reaction to the trailer for this, and I said, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck this movie is about, but I can't wait to see the movie because it'll answer that. But watching the movie, I felt the same way, and that's not a bad thing. So this is a movie told in 3 chapters, but out of order. It goes from 3, 2, 1, and it's really interesting. It starts off as this weird sci-fi, almost post-apocalyptic situation where it feels like modern day, but the world is like turning to shit. Like the internet's down, California is almost destroyed. There's natural disasters happening left and right. People are just giving up on life. And we're following a teacher who's trying his best. And we're seeing how he wants to connect with his ex-wife, who is a nurse. And we see all the people at her hospital essentially leave. So there's no need, or they commit suicide. And nobody knows what's going on. And there's weird things happening around them. The grid's just shutting down. But people are seeing billboards and television kind of commercials in between, like the kind of like emergency broadcast thing, but there's like commercials for a man named Chuck or Charles, and they're thanking him for 30 great years. And nobody knows who this guy is. And like, what's going on? Who is this guy? Nobody has answers. Nobody knows what's going on in the world, but it doesn't look good. And then the second segment we cut to, we meet the man Chuck, and we see him, and he's happy. He's kind of on this business trip. He's just relaxing, walking through a promenade, and sees a woman playing the drums, and he starts dancing. And then we meet this young woman who's going through a rough day, and then he starts dancing with her, and they have a blast, and everyone's loving it. People are watching them dance and play music, and then that ends, and the 2 dancers and the drummer go off, and they talk, and they get to know each other. It's this like really humaning, nice story. It's not like romance or anything. It's just about how like these broken people are kind of coming together, and it's kind of rich, but it's still like, who is this guy? I don't know. And then we cut to Chuck as a child, and we find out that he was an orphan raised by his grandma and grandfather, and just see how they raised him and how his parents died and how he got this appreciation for music and dance. And we learned that he has this form of a disease that's going to kill him. And there's this room in his house that like his grandfather forbids him from going to. And there's always these reasons to not go up there. And we don't know why. And one day when his grandfather's drunk, he goes up there, and his grandfather has this visual reaction after he pushes his grandson down the stairs of just seeing something horrific. And he reacts very weirdly, and we don't know why. And then at the end of the movie, we find out kind of what's going on. And it's like, oh, interesting. And throughout the whole movie, we're getting narration from Nick Offerman talking about all the different things happening. And it's kind of like the prose of the script come to life in this very rich, beautiful way.
Okay.
And so it's like these 3 different stories that shouldn't work together that come together just perfectly. I'm trying to be vague about it, but it's interesting. It's visually stunning. Like the cinematography is gorgeous. The soundtrack and the score is perfect. Nick Offerman's docile voice and just the way the script's written just brings it to life in another way. And the mystery surrounding all of this is just so kind of
interesting,
thought-provoking. And whether it sticks the landing or not for different people might vary. For me, it did. I've heard other people reviewing it kind of tear it apart, but I really liked it. And it's like, it's just something that I didn't expect to like, because I don't like movies in chapters. I don't like period piece films, but the intrigue of it and the fact that it's Stephen King and Mike Flanagan, these 2 guys that normally do horror, doing something different. And the cast is giving fantastic performances. Mark Hamill plays the grandfather, and he's just
nice.
So good. And then we have Tom Hiddleston playing the regular aged Chuck, and then as the teacher we get Chittadell Ejiofor, and as his ex-wife we have Karen Gillan, and then we have all these other fantastic performers, and everyone is just killing it. Everything about this movie I loved. I'm gonna give The Life of Chuck 3.5 slices of toast. It's a really interesting, unique, one-of-a-kind movie, and to take a short story and elongate it, I think it was a success in my opinion.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one. No, I'm glad to have a little more insight in this one because I've seen a couple trailers for it. Was still left wondering like, what the fuck is this? But I was intrigued because, like you said, it looks beautiful. The cinematography was very engaging. I wanted to know more. It wasn't. It didn't like off put me that I wasn't really clear what the story was here. But I mean, Tom Hiddleston is gonna kill anything he's in. But okay, yeah, I'm on board.
And like each of these could be their own movie, and like each of them is unique and distinguishable in their own way. Like I'm like, how do you top this third act? And then I'm like, oh, this beautiful kind of La La Land-esque day in the life of, and then how do you top that spectacle? Oh, we're gonna give you this mysterious childhood of this person who's so important to the world somehow. And I don't know, it was definitely something different. Highly suggest checking out if you're looking for something that you're gonna have to think about for a bit. And it stuck with me since I'd seen it a week ago. And I got one more movie to close this out.
Cool.
I have From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. So this movie takes place in between John Wick Chapter 3 and John Wick Chapter 4. And it's about essentially a young orphaned girl whose father was murdered. Of course, he was this kind of assassin type character. And she was placed in this kind of Black Widow-esque program to be an assassin, this ballerina assassin. And she's pretty good at what she does. And she wants to go out in the world and start kicking ass. And one thing leads to another. And she discovers a link that could lead her to finding her father's killer. And even though her handler is like, whoa, nope, we don't want, of course we know who did it, but if we were to interfere and we did anything that could start a big feud and ruin things for us, do not pursue this. And of course, being a hothead and wanting vengeance, she kind of sets out on an adventure and goes against everyone's suggestion and goes out and kind of wants to get vengeance. And there's some twists and turns. There's some action. Is it as good as John Wick? No, but it doesn't have to be. And it's visually pleasing like John Wick. It has fantastic action sequences. It's slick camera work. Good actors in it. And what I will say, John Wick would always kind of get hit and take stumbles and falls, but he'd always find a way to get back up and start fighting again. And that kind of happens here. But there's many moments where her kind of foes could kill her, but they don't. And it's like, okay, well, this is kind of dumb then. Like, this shouldn't be. But she does have the skills to fight, but she's not ready. She's not prepared. But what she is a kind of killing MacGyver. She can take anything and turn it into a killing device, which is fun. There's really unique kills that she has, and innovative kills, I guess I mean to say. But and the camera work's fun, and they tie John Wick into it, of course, and it's great to see him. And when him and her are on screen together, that's dynamite. But did the movie feel necessary? Not really. Could I go see more of these adventures with her? Sure. I don't know. I have mixed thoughts on it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm going to give From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, 2 slices of toast. And right there, I just fucked up the title. I feel like that's the clunkiest, weird way. It should be Ballerina from the World of John Wick, in my opinion, or just Ballerina. But I don't know. It's okay.
I can see that. Yeah, it's funny because when I heard about this one coming out, I felt the way you just described it. Of like, do we need this? He's already said he's like getting too old to do this. So why do we need to keep expanding the world of John Wick?
Well, the weird thing was this was supposed to come out before Chapter 4, but then they had some continuing shoots, not reshoots in their opinion. So like I said, this takes place between the two movies,
Mhm.
the final movie. So I think this was supposed to be the all right, John Wick is dead now. She's going to take over the franchise. But didn't really pan out that
Didn't
way.
play out
And
that way. Yeah.
the box office doesn't really look promising for this movie, sadly. And like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't hate it, but it just didn't feel super necessary to me.
That's so funny because it's like just the other day I watched a little clip with the director of the movie kind of promoting the film and the whole concept of it's great because in the world of John Wick it's not like James Bond where your character can get beat up and he's gonna get the shit kicked out of him, and in this case it's gonna be Anna de Armas, and she does it well, and all this like hyping up exactly the things you said it kind of shorted itself on. I'm like, that's so funny. You like tried to highlight the points that then like this is gonna do because after the lukewarm reaction of the series, this is gonna be the thing that reinvigorates the story, reinvigorates the John Wick universe. And it's like it's kind of sounding like it's not doing any of the things you said it was gonna do.
Honestly, I think I liked the series from the world of John Wick Continental a hell of a lot more because it gave us more backstory on the world that we have now grown to love. And this didn't really add anything. It just threw out
also there. Like, and then this happened too.
And that might be my biggest issue. I had done trailer reactions for all the trailers, and a lot of the interesting, fun things that happen in the movie are all in the trailer. So it's like, oh, I'm waiting for this scene to come. I'm waiting for that. They could have held back so much and it could have been more effective.
Because given the talent in the movie, you're going to see spectacle.
Fantastic.
So you don't need to like tease every spectacle, Like let us just watch the movie.
Even John Wick being in it could have been held back. Nobody needed that. But they know we put John Wick in the trailer, that's getting asses in the seats. More maybe not in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's because that's the first question a lot of people would ask is when they know someone went to see the movie. Well, is John Wick in it? Is Keanu Reeves in it? And eventually that was going to be, blasted across the social media and whatnot. But maybe that was the logic as to why they just put him out there right away instead of trying to hold him back. But I'm with you. So. I think sometimes it's okay to let things just be a surprise. You don't need to tell me the whole fucking movie before I go see it. Just make me intrigued enough to want to see it.
Yeah. I'm intrigued because it did have a great cast. We got returning from John Wick. We got Ian McShane. We got fucking Angelica Houston. And sadly, this is Lance Reddick's final performance. And he didn't have a lot to do here. He's kind of just like a minor character in this. And it's like, it would have been great to see him do one last badass movie. But But we do have great new additions like Anna de Armas, of course. But Norman Reedus is in here and a few other familiar people. And it's like, okay, it should have been better than what it was. But I think they were so hyper-focused on trying to make it the female John Wick and not let it be its own thing. And that kind of throttled it back from what it could have been, in my opinion.
Totally makes sense. I'm all too frequent, unfortunately, when titles start to get this big. It's they had to see if they could squeeze a Hobbs and Shaw out of John Wick.
Which, like I said, I didn't hate the movie. I enjoyed it. I'd see another one, I guess, but the story felt like we've seen it before. I will say it was cool. The final act was the best. What she uncovers, it's kind of like a cult, a town, this cultish town. And that was cool seeing, but it's like, that should have been more of the movie, not just one act.
See, because when you get stuff like this, I'm like, do you think it's going to return its investment? Because this, I mean, like the rest of them, this looks like an expensive movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see this dominating the box office as hard as the previous films did, that it then demands a Ballerina 2 or, I don't know, the Trumpeter or whatever the fuck they come up with on the next, the Pianist.
Heck, I would like to see
not the
Jason
Pianist you're thinking of.
Mantzoukas' character come and get his own movie.
Oh my God.
Or Lawrence Fishburne's character.
Oh shit! Oh, that'd be great. Give him some.
There's so many characters that you could give a spin-off.
To be honest, I don't even think I finished the second one. I watched the first one a couple times.
I'm not gonna lie,
and
I saw the second one in 4DX, and I fell asleep. But then when I rewatched, I'm like, all right, that's good. But the third and the fourth make up for the second one. Like
Okay.
First was really fun. Second one, it's like, but then it just gets better and better, in my opinion.
I
But
think I need to try it. I need to give him a shot again because I just
yeah, I think you should.
they
I
get
think you
all
do,
this
but
hype and I just don't. It's never like
it's not made for everyone. That's fine. You
it
don't have
should,
to like
but it
everything.
should be made like that's what's always bothered me. It's like I feel like there's this voice that say you're supposed to like this, and I'm like, but I don't. It's,
But yeah, I mean that's not a bad thing. Like
ugh.
there could be hundreds of people that love the Fountain of Youth, although it's gotten destroyed by everyone else. So
Literally only hundreds of people on the planet like Fountain of Youth, and most of them are on the crew of that movie.
Sorry, Guy Ritchie.
Sorry, guy. I'll go
But,
watch I'll watch The Covenant again.
There
That
you
was
go. That was
amazing.
It's baffling. It's baffling how he can make some really fantastic movies and then some really not fantastic
Some
movies.
cult classics, some like very gripping, dramatic films, and then that. It's
Yep.
like, oh, did we just phone it in that month? Like, what's going
I was
on,
too
guy?
busy trying to make a sequel to Aladdin at that point.
Yeah. Oh man.
But
Well,
yeah,
folks, I think
gonna
that
do it.
yeah, that takes us out of reviews. So thank you for joining us on all those delicious morsels. Hopefully you found something you want to give a shot, or maybe you want to let us know what you think about said reviews. Agree? Disagree? I don't know. You got to tell us. Hit us on those socials. We got Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, and of course, if you're watching on YouTube, we're there too. Please go give us a follow on the assorted platform that you enjoy, or all of them. I'm not going to stop you. All at movie_toast. You can you'll get news on upcoming things. You get a lot of extra delicious morsels of trailer reactions, as Adam mentioned earlier, and you get news about some big things that maybe could be happening later this year.
Like perhaps our 5th annual Movie Toast the Festival happening this December, folks.
That's right.
Whew. We've got some great entries already, but we just got
a few more.
Yours.
I saw those emails going by. We just got a handful more. Like they're still rolling in, folks. We're stacking them up.
We're taking submissions for a couple more weeks, and we want to see your short films if they're under 15 minutes or whatnot. Any genre, any style, why not? We just want to get eyes on your work. We want to toast something that the fans have made, not just what Hollywood's made. Hell, we think some of the stuff you make could be better than some of the stuff Hollywood's made recently.
Easily.
The only way for us to get our eyes on it and to share it with our audience's eyes is to have you have you go over to filmfreeway.com/Movie Toast the Festival, or just search for Movie Toast the Festival on filmfreeway.com. It's simple, it's easy, and a super nominal cheap price for your entry fee.
That's absolutely right. And say you don't have a film to enter, you can at least join us. Like we said, give us a follow on said platforms, or keep an eye out on Film Freeway. We will announce the date in December when we will be doing the live stream. It will be for free on YouTube. You can watch along with us as we'll be chatting with the viewers there, and just enjoy a collection of very fun, very cool short films from around the world. And you'll get to see who wins the 5th ever Golden Toaster Award.
Oh, yeah. That's a hot award, kids. You're not going to want to miss it. But until then, we're going to be putting out daily stuff on all those socials, and we're going to be putting out our bi-weekly podcasts. But we always want to hear from you on what you like, what you dislike. The only way to improve this show is by getting your feedback. So why not head over to Apple Podcast or wherever you get this podcast and leave a little like. Let us know what works, what doesn't work, what you want to see, what you want to hear. We want to hear from you.
That's right. That is absolutely right. It only gets better if you let us know. We just try to make this show as golden, buttery, delicious as we possibly can, as that delicious toast you seek. So maybe you don't want to leave a review. Maybe you've already followed us. Maybe you've already left a review. You've already submitted your short film.
You're too kind. Thank you.
What else could you possibly do for the toasters? We got one thing
or yourself
we would like you to do. Or that's right. And that is to please stay toasty.
Stay toasty.
Adam and Dennis, they're the kings of the real. Reviewing new movies, they keep it real. Coast to coast, from LA to the east. On the podcast show, they feast on the beast. Adam's bringing knowledge like he's Professor X. Dennis with cuts deeper than Wolverine's claws. I guess.
I like how now we have 3 viewers now that we're wrapping things up.
Now that it's over.
You can always rewind. Thank you for coming.
Breaking down movies with a sharp precision. Adam coming in hot
These
like
dance
John
moves.
Wick hit. Dennis bringing the heat
They
like
keep
the
people
climax of
coming.
a Tarzan flick.
I just want
Oh yeah, we gotta.
I
come
just
up
want
with
a
the-
vine to swing across.
Ooh, man. I'm sorry. A lot of that episode, you could see me playing with my earbuds. They kept kind of coming out, but then if
Oh.
I hit it, it does the noise cancellation.
It's like a function.
and I hear
Yeah.
myself talk. So I
Oh.
try shutting that off, and by pushing it in, or then it activates fucking my iTunes account, and I was
Oh,
hearing our
yeah.
theme song go off. So I do apologize. I was paying attention.
It didn't bleed through though,
Yes.
so you're good. You were on it.
That's a plus.
You kept the you kept the movie toaster rolling.
I was
sir,
afraid.
so.
There were some times where I was playing too much. You know, I'm sorry. I want to do it now. I don't know why today I have this weird thing going. But we've gotten an interesting email I wanted to talk about with you of people who like find our show and they can help us grow. And I just wanted to see what you thought about this. They have rankings, the top 3 rankings that we come in on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and they're both pretty interesting. So I want to see out of let's go with Spotify first. The top 3 keywords that we show up in our rankings. What would you expect our top 3 keywords that people find is the most?
I hope fucking movies is one of them.
Okay.
It's not. Oh my god.
I'm gonna let you do 3, and then I'll give you the
Okay.
answers.
Okay.
I'll agree or disagree.
Movies.
But I agree. It should be
Humor, talk or discussion, like a word that references like a not interview, but a discussion format.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
none of them. None of those.
Not really, Dennis. And I don't know where they get these rankings, but I would love to find out.
Toilet
So I'll
humor.
reach out to these people. So let's start with the third. We rank 185 in the keyword for movie news. All right, that makes sense, I guess.
Well, shit. Okay. All right.
That's
I
not
don't.
bad.
Okay. I thought it was a single word. I guess single word. I should
No,
have
I guess it could
broadened
be a
it a
phrase.
little.
My apologies.
Okay. No, fair enough. It makes sense though. Yeah.
169
Movie
in movie reviews. So okay. Now,
Okay.
are these out of
69.
169 and
That's right.
185? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Out of
I'm
150.
intrigued by 94. We clock in under movie experts.
Hey.
I love that. That's interesting.
There's a title. Throw that in
Yeah.
the resume now.
Yeah,
all right.
even if that's 94
Spotify
out of 94,
says-
I'll take it. And then Apple Podcasts is where I really loved where we clocked in at some of this stuff.
But wait,
so
did you give us 3? Did you give us 3 from
that was
Spotify?
3. So
Movie news.
Spotify, number 3 was movie news, number 2 was movie reviews, and number
Oh.
1 was movie experts.
Okay.
Sorry,
News
sorry.
and reviews. We got news and reviews though.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
our
perfect.
title. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm happy
it's in
for
there.
that. We're clocking it. So then I want to know how they find this. Do they count? I don't know. I'm intrigued. But give me your top 3 words that you think we could come in for Apple Podcast top 3. I guarantee you'll get one of them possibly, but you won't get the other 2. And if you get the other 2, you're a fucking mind reader.
I hope movie reviews are like, yeah. So obviously it's going to be either movie reviews or movie news, but I'm going to lean towards reviews.
Okay.
Talk show.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there something like on the bro spectrum? Is this like a college, like a frat channel?
I like how you
frat
get
radio.
that much street cred.
I'm
Dennis. I
trying
wish.
to think of something obscure you could try to like wedge it into,
Right.
but yeah, that's
All
the
right.
best I got. Yeah.
All right, so rank 75. I don't even know what the fuck this means, but I'm gonna tell you. Sister search. I don't
Like
know
a
what that
missing
means.
person, like a fucking
I don't
true
know.
crime. We somehow ranked up on the true crime fucking podcast.
I don't know, maybe.
What I like is that we probably ranked higher than actual true crime podcasts, and we just probably watched a couple crime movies, and that Got
Hey,
us.
possibly, but we're number 75 for that. So
Yeah.
thank the folks over at Apple Podcasts. Now, number 2, where we rank 64th. This is my favorite. I'm happy we rank 64th in it. Porn reviews. Porn reviews, Dennis. We're
Is it
reviewing porn.
literally referencing the theme song?
I think so.
Is it just? I mean, have we talked about orgasms? We have talked
joked
about
different things.
We joke about those
But
things.
to come in 64, maybe we should shift away from movies and just review porn. We
got really deep into our adaptation of the Son of Tarzan. And
don't forget our classic.
We got pretty deep into the Superman one that turned out to be pretty graphic. But no, I'm sorry. Yeah, what were you? What other porn reference did you
I just always think about back to the Grease review with the cling wrap on the penis that I spent a lot of time on.
Yes, that is a classic. We did reference that a few times. Wow. I hope we're not getting you too
we're getting them
too boned up out there.
People they're ready to find out what the hottest porn is on Pornhub, and they just hear about dumb old movies.
I just immediately, I don't know why.
Porn reviews on Apple Podcasts.
I need a porn review podcast right now.
If you did that, please let us know. Email us at movietoastnewsandreviews@gmail.com or hit us up on any of the socials. Let us know what your other favorite porn review podcasts are.
The other day I was trying to find a new porn review podcast, but you know what came up? This little show called Movie Toast, and I really liked it. Didn't really make me horny, but I was really here for it.
It kind of made me flaccid, but I mean, it's cool. They talked about some sexy.
It's a real boner killer, but
we're no Boner Jam Zone 9.
Oh my god!
But I am going to say, Dennis, we ranked 31st on Apple Podcast when you search for movie news.
Hey,
that'll take us a victory.
That's actually pretty awesome. Wow, 31st,
right? Yeah,
for movie
fucking
news podcast.
We're 185 over on fucking old Spotify, but Apple Podcasts, and yet none of these fine folks leave us reviews. It kills me. Probably because they're not learning about the latest porns.
We gotta give the folks what they're looking for.
All right. So earlier I watched a young porn called. Well, I don't know what it was called, but I do read the titles before I watch it. I look at the thumbnails and then I look at. Sorry.
Well, you got to see what you're getting into. No, I saw a really funny. There was Josh Brolin posted on Instagram. It's the 40th anniversary of the Goonies. And he was talking about in the description of the post, he was talking about how he was recalling the first time he saw the poster, the first version of the poster, that he was like the biggest face. And it was just, it was at Warner Brothers Studios in Burbank. And it was just the wildest experience. Like he just thought it was the coolest fucking thing, which of course that would be amazing. And then Johnny Knoxville was like the top comment. It's just like, hey man, that's so incredible. Congratulations on such an epic career. I do not want to detract from what you're talking about here, but the first thing I ever saw close to the Goonies was a porno called The Poonies. I'm like, oh my god, someone made a porn. That's so gross. Someone made a porn parody of the Goonies.
And that's what we should be reviewing on the show, giving the people what they want. We should earn our 64th place in porn reviews by watching all the porn parodies of the classics.
My fear is losing 31st place in movie news, though.
Think how rich it will be with the pervs.
Right? We could go to first place for the porn review.
Who needs Comic-Con when we can go to fucking, I don't know, the Vivid Awards? I don't know what there are.
Yeah, is that it? Is that what it is?
The pornies? I don't know.
The pornies. The jizzies.
Porncon. Oh man.
And this jizzy goes.
So I'd like to thank Andrea D. Marcy over at podco.com because that was nice to see. I want to hit see full search visibility report, but I'm afraid they're going to try charge me. But fuck it, let's see. I doubt. No, but it goes to sign in.
And here's where you pay for your package of.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Speaking of packages, have you seen Delivery Man 19?
Deliver
He delivers quite the package to two young ladies
overnight
in the San Fernando Valley.
in Van Nuys.
And what happens next? A pizza delivery guy shows up, and by God, there's quite a scene that takes place. A little too many penises for my taste.
You got your package in my pizza. Well, I got my pizza on your package. What should we do?
It's like you've seen it too. Hey. That's the movie we need. Oh, man. All right, folks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for searching for porn. We
and then finding us instead. Yeah, that's great. That's
did you come back? Maybe not. But
someone did. Someone did for the numbers to get where they are. Somebody was a return customer.
But do you think each time they forgot our name, they're like, we'll just search porn reviews and these two random guys will come up?
This one always comes. The one with the toaster. That's the
it's
the raunchiness I need.
It's like that classic sketch, I think on an Adam Sandler early album, where they walk around and ask people, "Can I fuck it?" And toaster was one of the options. Well, maybe that's how we got there. I don't know. It's so classic. I don't remember which album it was.
Oh, he's got a few. He's got a few. So
yeah. Well, Dennis, it's been a pleasure, Adam, my friend.
Yes, that it has.
Until
that
next
it has.
time.
Thank you for joining us, folks. See you then.